This is how to build an email list for free so you can have a constant supply of free traffic to your affiliate links, to your products, and to your websites whenever you need it. And if you stay until the end, you will see how my students are making millions of dollars online using a secret traffic method that I used to get over 30,000 website visitors every day for free. Okay, so today, this is the 11th module in a free course I've been uploading to YouTube on how to build an affiliate marketing business without a website. Now, I'm going to put all the links to all the other modules in the description so you don't miss out. Okay, so today you're going to learn how to build an email list for free. But the thing is, you already have an email list. Well, kind of. I'll tell you more about that in a couple of minutes, because what we're going to do is tap into your existing resources. And you're probably thinking, what are you talking about, Mick? Of course I don't have an email list. Well, I promise you, you do. I'll tell you more about that in a second. But for the moment, what we're going to focus on is the entire process. So we're going to talk about converting strangers into subscribers, because that's really when you start getting growth. That's when you can really scale things. So what we're going to do is work backwards. So we're going to start with your email list. So let's say we've set up your email list. I'll show you how to do that. I'll show you how to do that in a second. So let's say we have your list ready to go. We work backwards. So we create a landing page. I'll show you how to do that. There's one practically already waiting for you. I'll show you how to access it and edit it in a second. It's very easy. So we have a landing page. We have your email list. So now once we have both of these things working, we need to start sending traffic to the landing page. So what we can do is go back through all my previous videos in this course, have a look at the methods that I've shown you how to promote affiliate links, and just swap out those affiliate links for your landing page. And when you do that, you start getting traffic that you own and control. And that is where you will really start making the money. Okay, so just to recap, we had a look at Pinterest. I showed you how to get traffic from Pinterest. We looked at solo ads. We looked at YouTube. We also looked at using ebooks. Now, we're going to use another version of an ebook later on. In this lesson, we're not going to reuse the ebooks that we made previously, because they serve different purposes. So in addition to the methods that I've already mentioned, we can also look at Facebook. Facebook is a gold mine if we use it in the right way. And you probably know that I'm not really a big fan of Facebook. I think it does more harm to society than it helps. So with that said, my clients tend to like Facebook, so I know how to drive traffic from Facebook, and we can talk about that later on as well. And one of the big traffic sources is, of course, Medium. So we can use all of these to drive traffic, but nobody is going to subscribe just because you tell them to or because you ask them to. So you need a reason to get them to subscribe. They have to really want to subscribe, because your email address is a form of currency, or rather their email address and yours. Well, that is a form of currency, because people will often just put in like junk email addresses. They'll type out random letters or numbers just to try and get beyond that gated page to get to that content. So you need to give them a really good reason to want to give you their genuine email address. And listen, if we're doing double opt-in emails, then they have to confirm their interest before they receive your gated content. So we can talk more about that later on. Okay, so this is how you give them a really good reason to subscribe. It all starts with your content. So look at your content as a milestone. Perhaps it's the first milestone that they need to complete on their journey. So you have to know the customer journey to make this work. So your content serves a purpose, doesn't it? It helps them to complete that milestone or move further along that journey. And what we have here, so we need to move them from your content, which could be any one of these traffic sources. So we need to move them from your content over to your landing page. In order to do that, we have to focus on this area here in the middle. That's called the gap. So we focus on the things that will help move them forward on their journey. And the content does that by addressing a few things. The easy way to do it is to just focus on the steps that they need to take to complete that first milestone. So we can talk about step 1, step 2, step 3 in the content, which then will bring them to the next milestone on their journey. And your landing page will talk to that need. It will help address that point. And that is how you get them to really want to subscribe to your email list. And I hope that makes sense. So we're continuing to move them along their journey. And we're delivering more value at this stage. Now, to get them to opt in, we do have to give them a freebie, which we'll talk about in a second. But once you get your head around this concept, so we are delivering value. We're really thinking about their needs. We're not thinking about trying to sell anything. We're not being obnoxious. We're only here to help. The selling comes later on. So that's how you get people into your email list. It's by delivering useful, helpful content that helps to move them forward. Now, I already said previously at the beginning that you have an email list, kind of. So you already do have an email list. What do I mean by that? Now, what we're going to do is access that email list that you already have, because if we go to Gmail, we can go have a look at your contacts. Now, we can dive into your contacts and start to re-engage those people. Or we can drill down even further into other contacts. I really can't speak today. So we can then approach these people and then invite them to your landing page. So what we want to avoid doing is just exporting all of these people into the email list. We don't want to do that because it breaks the law, and we want to be, good, honest, ethical marketers that I know you are. So what we do is we approach your contacts and your other contacts and we say, hey, I've got this new thing going on. I think you might be interested. Check it out here. And then we invite them to your landing page. So in Gmail, you have this nav bar thingy, these 9 dots. Click on that. Go down to contacts. When you do that, it will take you to a page that looks like this. Now, for security reasons, I've blurred out the contacts and the other contacts in my Gmail, because if we go down here and we click on other contacts, sure, you can go to contacts, but both are going to work fine. Now you can export. Oops, sorry about that. That's my phone. So we can export these to a group, or create a group and then export the group. And we can now email people based on our previous contact with them, and maybe just give them a really short email to say, I'm working on this. I think it might be of interest to you. Check it out here. And then we get them to opt into your email list really quickly. And the important thing to note here is we're not exporting these directly to a brand new email list. We're not uploading these to any other service. We're only asking them to opt in. That's really important. Let me show you another way to use Gmail. So here we have this cog icon. If you click that, you'll get this option to see all settings. If you click on that, now you can add a signature to your Gmail. So every time you send an email out, you can link to your landing page. I'll show you how to make the landing page in a second. So on settings, if we scroll down, where is it? It's towards the bottom, I think. Here we go. Signature. So if you click create new, give it a name. So we could call it something like landing page. Click create. Now we can add in copy and links. So I might say something like, PS, don't forget to check out my new free cheat sheet. Oops, I can't spell today. Not only can I not spell, not only can I not speak, I can't spell today. Check out my new free cheat sheet on how to drive organic traffic to your website, or whatever it might be for you. And then we put in the HTTPS, and then it will be a link to your landing page here. So landingpage.com/your URL. Get the idea. And then you can highlight that and then click link, turn it into a link, and then you're good to go. So I'm just going to delete that so people don't receive that from me. And there we are. So that's a couple of ways to use Gmail to build your email list. So let's go ahead and start using a free service. It's free for the first 500 members, first 500 subscribers. Okay, let's go check it out. So for this, we're going to use Aweber. I'm going to put a link to this in the description, so it will allow you to join for free. So it's going to give you the first 500 subscribers for free, and you should seriously be able to monetize, way less than 500 subscribers if the offers that you promote are relevant to the interests of those subscribers. So go ahead, sign up. I'm going to set this up for one of my friends who's getting into this kind of stuff. So I'm going to use her details. So let's set up your account. There's 3 steps involved. So step 1 is to fill in your company name, add your website, add your name, and make sure that your address is accurate. Then click next. Step 2 is to give your list a name, so we can have multiple lists. So we might be running different campaigns, have different purposes for different lists. For example, you could have a pre-launch list, or you could have a buyer's list. So we can segment lists, which we'll speak about later on. And then you give your list a description. So this is really for your benefit, so you know the purpose of the list. Then click next, select your language, and then we have a subject line setting. This is very important because if we have a look at the options, we can send out a flat, bog standard, non-personalized subject line. So this is going to ask people to confirm their subscription. This is if you are doing a double opt-in email, which I recommend that you do. That will cut down the amount of spam. So the subject line can have a very flat version, so it just says confirm your subscription, or we can have a variable in there, which is the prospect's first name. I would recommend that you go with the personalized option, so that will increase your open rates. However, in some industries, having someone's name in the subject line isn't always the best way to go. For example, if you're in political niches, it can create privacy issues where people will feel this level of distrust. So the best course of action here is to really split test it. But I recommend starting with the personalization option, see how you go, monitor your open rates, because when someone sees their name, obviously it's going to get their attention. So, and then underneath the subject line setting, we have a preview of the message. You can click to edit that. Now, what I recommend you do here is, again, keep their name in there. So if you can add a variable, so you've got a list of variables that you can add here. So it's a subscriber info, check that. You might want to put in their first name. So again, put that at the beginning of the body. And another benefit of having this level of personalization inside the email itself, it also tells spam filters like Google and Hotmail and Yahoo that that this is a real email addressed to a real person. So it increases your chance of landing in the inbox as opposed to the junk or spam or promotions tab. And then I would leave all the rest of the settings, so button, text, signature, all that stuff as default. And I know when it comes to your signature, you might be tempted to add in links to your social media profiles or links to products. So what I encourage you to do here is just resist that temptation to add links. So the emails that we send out have to appear like they're coming from a real person. If Google suspects that they're coming from a company, then it's going to move that email to a promotions tab. And you don't want to do that because that's going to lower your open rate. So what you need to do is keep your emails very basic, limit the number of links per email, and don't link out to any social media profiles. So when we're happy with step 3, click complete, and now you can start adding subscribers to your email list. I'm going to assume that this is a brand new email list for you, so we're not going to import multiple subscribers. If you're moving from another platform, then you might want to do that, but let's just go with add one at a time. Click that. And now if you have leads ready to go, you can add them to your database there. Okay, so this is the dashboard. Now we've got everything set up. Well, we've got the email list set up. We need to make sure that we have the right forms. So click sign up forms. The first one, my web form. Make sure that that's there and it's active. So here we can change the copy and the templates here. So if you scroll through, you're going to get a range of different types of templates to use. So we could go with that one, change the colors. I'm going to keep mine pretty basic. I encourage you to really spend some time with this. So this is the form. We can edit the copy here. So we want to give them a really good reason. So you can see my default setting, the default copy, is sign up to receive updates from the Bayside Milk Company. So what I'm going to do is change that copy. So I'm going to say something like, grab your free cheat sheet on how to X, Y, Z. So these X, Y, Z, these are going to be benefits. So we stack benefits. So 3 benefits without, let's say, X. I really can't write today. X, Y, Z. Well, let's change that. So let's go A, B, C, shall we? A, B, C. Okay, this feels a little bit backwards, but let's go with it. So without objections. So we can have, 2 or 3 objections. I like to use 2. So we have 3 benefits, 2 objections. So how to get or how to gain 3 benefits without pain points. And then click Save Field. Now, when it comes to the name and email, you can get away with just having the email. But if you want to have that personalization aspect to it that we spoke about previously, then keep the name field in there. I like to increase my open rates. But again, like I said, that's going to vary from niche to niche. Okay. Next, the submit button. So I want to change the copy on this because submit, that's not really a strong call to action. So we want it to say something like, yes, I want to X, Y, Z, or maybe one really strong benefit. Yes, I want to change my life, or I want to lose weight. I want to, whatever is relevant to you. And when we put things like this in first person, yes, I want to, then we should see an increase in opt-ins. So the conversion rate should increase. We respect your privacy. You can keep that in if you want to. I think it kind of goes without saying most of the time. Powered by by Aweber email marketing. If you can get rid of that, do get rid of that, because we want to make sure that the landing page that we build really is just as it only contains the information that we absolutely need. So we don't want any distractions. So we can click Save Form. It's going to do it for us, and then go to step 2. Now, this is really interesting, because if you have a website of your own, what I would encourage you to do is send them to a custom page. So the thank you page can now make a one-time offer, and that will increase your sales. Overall, you should see maybe a 1% conversion rate on that page. So for 1 in every 100 people that land on that page, they're going to grab that one-time offer. In fact, truth is, if you're doing things right and you're using strong copy and you're approaching a highly targeted, highly relevant audience, your targeting is on point, then that conversion rate is going to be a lot higher. But we want it to be a minimum of 1%. Okay. If you don't have your own website, then just go stay on current page. That's fine. Keep this as basic. If you want to delve a bit deeper, go to advanced settings. Here you can add tracking if you want to. You can decide the on start message, so at what point they receive your messages, and you can pass form data as well. If you don't know what all this stuff means, don't worry about it. You don't need to do it. It is more advanced stuff. So let's go to step 3. And now, so you must save your form before it can be published. So let's save the form. And now you can install it on your website. So you can just grab the HTML code. I'll show you how to do that. So you've got some JavaScript there. Paste that into your page, or get the raw HTML version instead. If you know what you're doing, if you have your own website, then go ahead, use that, or send this to someone else to do it for you. If you have a designer, get them to do it. If you don't have a website of your own, then use my form as a landing page. And now you will send traffic to this link. So let me show you what that looks like. So that's it, live on the internet. And yeah, it looks really basic. And you might be thinking, come on now, Mick, with people selling software like ClickFunnels and Kartra and all these funnel builders, are you really telling me that a basic little form like this can get results? Yes, I promise you, it can get good results. You do not need to invest in any expensive software to do really well on the internet, because let me show you an example. So the chap who taught me how to do a lot of this kind of stuff, I really ignored email marketing for years until I met this chap. Let me show you his website. This is one of his websites. It's 6-string videos. If we can find a photo of him, maybe he's taken it down. But the chap is called Mike Herbert. He does these guitar tutorials. These are his happy customers. But let me show you what he's doing in terms of an opt-in page. So we have this big sign up now button. So notice that the copy is really good. So sign up below and I'll send you a video explaining how my system works. And then I'll send you some tempting free samples. So he's giving away something of enormous value to a targeted audience. So if you click sign up now, look at the form he's using. It's exactly the same type of thing that we just built in Aweber. And notice something else. He's talking in first person. So yes, Mike, I'll give them a try. Here's my email. Look after it. So it's a very simple form, but I can probably predict that this is getting enormous conversions because Mike has been in the game for a long time. He knows exactly what he's doing. He is probably one of the most knowledgeable people I've ever had the pleasure and the privilege to meet. And if it's working for Mike, it's going to work for you too. So don't worry too much about any of these funnel builders that come along. Do you know what? Most of the people who promote them are just affiliates. So keep your guard up. Anyone promoting a funnel builder or, any kind of software or whatever, chances are they're an affiliate. And full disclaimer, hey, I am an affiliate of Aweber, but I actually use Aweber in my business, and I only ever promote products that I personally use. Okay, so how do we make this free gift that we give away? Well, let's head over to canva.com and we can create all types of really cool stuff. So if we go to the search bar and we type in report, maybe click on report, it's going to give us some free templates to use. So click on whichever one you think represents your niche and what you're doing in the best possible way. Some of them are free, some of them are premium. You're just going to have to spend a bit of time to figure out which is which. And here we can now add pages, we can remove pages. So this is going to be a free PDF that we give away to every person who subscribes. So what we want to do with this is make sure that it's really short and to the point. We want to avoid giving away long-winded 30-page ebooks and all that stuff. So what I really encourage you to do is just map out the big steps that your audience needs to take in order to achieve a specific result. And listen, you see all these pages here? Just delete them. Just get rid of as many as you can. And you want to make this PDF as short to consume as possible. So get rid of, all the fluff, all the filler, just remove it. And now you should be left with a document that is really clear and short and sharp to the point. And what we can do is monetize it straight away. So let's say here we have, let's say we have step 1 on how to achieve something. So we just give them a real, like a paragraph or something on how to achieve a specific result, how to achieve X, Y, Z. What we can do here is in the body, in the actual copy here, we can say, get more info here, and we can link out to either a piece of content that you've created, or we can monetize it by linking to an affiliate product that is relevant to that step. So we can add links in here as well. And then you can download it. So if we click this button, it's going to ask you to choose the file type. Go with standard, PDF standard. So it's a smaller file size, so that's going to cost you less in bandwidth and hosting. So we'll talk about where to actually host this in a second. And you can see that this template that I'm using is a premium one. So we don't have to go with that. We can go with a free option instead. Okay, so once you've downloaded your PDF, what do we do with it? Where do we put it on the internet? Well, we have got lots of free hosting options. So if you just Google something like free file storage, free upload space, something like that, you're going to get free options. However, if you want to do it properly and you don't have your own website, we can use a service like AWS. This is from Amazon. So we can host on here for literally pennies. I have used this to host gigs and gigs and gigs of video content. And every month, I think it costs around, like $1 or something like that. So it works out really cheap. For you, if you're just hosting a single PDF, it's going to be like 0.00 something cents to host that. But you know, full disclaimer here, for most of my video stuff, I now use Vimeo. But for PDFs and other formats like that, AWS is really the place to be because it is so cheap and it's pretty easy to use as well. So take a look at that. Upload your lead magnets here. It's going to give you a unique URL. So you make the files public. They've got lots of documentation to walk you through that process. It's really simple. It's a case of clicking on a button and making public. You do that, get the URL, and now you add that to, where is it? Let's go back to your Aweber thingy, and we can create a campaign. So the second someone subscribes to your email list, we can make it so they receive, oops, I'm getting lost in here. So we can make it so they receive that link the second that they confirm their subscription. So again, Aweber has got lots of documentation. Their support team is always not, you know, they're around, they're accessible. They're going to be available if you need help. They are quite good, actually. Anytime I've run into an issue with Aweber, they have just been there. They've been able to sort it out for me. So if you do get stuck, reach out to support. They're pretty good. Okay, we mentioned using Facebook earlier. So here we are on my Facebook profile. You'll see that, look, I don't use this very often, right? So, you know, I post maybe once or twice a year on Facebook, but that's just my personal preference. You might want to use it more. So to drive traffic from Facebook, we've got a few options really. So the first one is, you see you have this banner image right at the very top. What you could do is replace that with something that has your website address or the address of your landing page. You can put a bit.ly link there instead if you want, but you ask people to take action. So you could have a click here button, because if you have a click here button here, you click that, we have this space over here where we can edit, we can put in links there so they can click directly to your landing page there. So that is one way to do it. Also, you can pin things to the top of your post. So what you can do is put a link to your landing page, make a really strong call to action, and then you can pin it. So anyone who visits your profile is going to see it immediately. Another little tactic is to use the search field here to search for relevant communities and groups for your niche. So let's say if I went with something like marketing, if we go down to, where is it, groups, and we can apply a filter to this. So you can decide to view only groups from your local area, or you can choose to view public groups only. So if you flick that tab, you're going to change the results here. So what I would encourage you to do is investigate the groups before you join and make sure that they are active, because there's no point joining groups unless there is a community there and people are posting. So I would encourage you to follow the rules of each group that you're going to join. So it's generally considered bad form to join a group and then start spamming your links and that kind of stuff. Instead, if they don't allow that, what I would encourage you to do is get recognized on the group. So contribute useful content. Also, invite people to become your friend. So instead of going in and asking people to go to your email list or that kind of thing, which is frowned upon and will probably get you banned from most groups, there's no harm in going in to these groups and requesting friends. So making friends with people, and then once they're on your friends list on Facebook, then you can market to them in a different way. And let me give you one more tip, okay? Because I know that we're kind of running on a little bit today, but that's okay, because this next tip is going to make creating these lead magnets really quick and easy, because I know that you might not want to spend time creating them. So let me show you another option. If you go to Google and you type in PLR ebooks, what you're going to get is a whole heap of different websites and services that you can buy private label rights from. So you can buy books that you can legally change and give away. Now, what I would encourage you to do is, instead of just grabbing one of these books and giving it away for free, instead break it down, break it up into smaller components. So what I would really strongly encourage you to do, because this one, let's say that's got 32 pages. No one's going to read 32 pages of an ebook that you give away. It's just not going to happen, right? But they will read a top 10 list, or the best 5 ways to achieve X, Y, or Z. So break it down and then use the rest of the content for your emails. So this way you can get more from less. So instead of just giving that piece of content away one time, knowing that people ain't going to read it, right? Let's be honest. You can just drip feed the content over the course of an email sequence. And in those emails, you can embed affiliate links and whatever else you have. So, important point, each ebook, each PLR ebook has specific rights of what you can and what you can't do. So go through the rights, make sure that you follow the rules, because, for example, this one, it cannot be given away for free. So you can't use that as a lead magnet. You can't use any part of it as a lead magnet. But you can use it as a bonus. So if you're selling something else, you can add that to it. So take the time to go through some of these ebooks, these PLR ebooks, and I know what you're going to ask. You're going to ask which website is best. Where should you buy these from? I'm not going to comment on that, because I haven't used PLR for a very long time, and I'm really not up on which ones are good, or which ones produce spammy content and all that. So that's a decision you are going to have to make as an adult entrepreneur. You have to make that decision for yourself. I'm sure that there are plenty of really good ones out there, and take your time to investigate before you drop some serious cash on these, because some of them can be quite expensive. So take your time, do your research, do your homework, and that's going to be a really short way to create multiple dozens and dozens of these landing pages with free gifts and these lead magnets. But no matter what you decide to do, you have to be consistent, because when you are consistent with this, you will get amazing results. Like Matt, he's making millions of dollars online thanks to my training. So if you want to know the secret and you really are serious about making money online, then you're going to need more web traffic. So I will give you the secret traffic methods that I never share anywhere else, completely for free, when you go to profitcopilot.com/traffic. I'll also put a link to that in the description too. And if you found today's lesson useful, give it a thumbs up below, subscribe to the channel too, hit that little notification bell so you never miss an update from me. And I will hopefully see you again in a couple of days' time. Take care.